The groups have been announced for this year's World's Strongest Man.
You make me jump. You really made me jump.
Tone down the energy a little bit.
Yeah, it's the sharpness of the foot.
I'm sorry, but I'm excited. What can I say? We know the groups. Group 1, Group 2, Group 3, Group 4, Group 5. We have them in front of us now.
Yes, I'm very
Which means we can bring them to you officially and we can give you our predictions for each group. So group number 1, we have Kevin Ferris from the USA, Tristan Hoyth from Canada, Trey Mitchell from the USA, Luke Stoltman from Great Britain, Eddie Williams from Australia, and Oskar Zielkowski from Poland.
This is a really interesting mix of athletes when you consider what the events are. The first event that really jumps out to me is the walking stone. So we've got Kevin Ferris in there, former record holder, Luke Stoltman, former record holder, Eddie Williams, current record holder. They always do this.
And Trey Mitchell, notoriously very bad at this event.
Oh my goodness, yeah, of course.
So you these are things that are so important when I am talking about predictions and, putting together who I think is going to do well in a competition. Until I know groups and events, you cannot predict things.
God, now I think about it, this could be a bad group for Trey Mitchell. We've also got the sandbag steeplechase. He is not the fastest loader. We've got the car walk. He's not the fastest on the car walk.
He's good at deadlift. He's very good at Viking press.
He is.
And he needs to scrap as hard as he can to get himself into a stone-off. I do not see Trey Mitchell winning this group.
But I don't see him not making a stone-off either. I think he'll win the Viking press and the deadlift ladder.
I believe so too. Yeah. Looking at who's in this group, Kevin Ferris, very quickly, very, very good when it comes to the stone carry. Very solid when it comes to loading normally. Yeah. His deadlift is not bad. And it's not a crazily strong deadlift group. I would expect Trey Mitchell to come out on top with the deadlift. Tristan Hoyth is doing extremely well in a lot of competitions. We just haven't seen him at this level.
No.
And this pressure and, the experience when it comes to Worlds.
It's different.
But I've been super impressed by what I've seen. Eddie Williams has some very good events, some weaker events. Oskar Zielkowski, good athlete. Last few shows not been doing so well, but he's been against some of the best in the world. But yeah, when I look at this, I really see this as a very good group for Luke Stoltman.
Yes.
I think Luke is in fantastic form right now. And yes, we spoke about how good the events for Europe's were for Luke. They're very similar events. I feel the events in the heats this year are very good for Luke. I think Luke comes out on top in this group through consistency.
Yeah.
He's solid when it comes to the stone walk. The likes of Kevin and Eddie I think could beat him, but I think he picks up good points.
Yeah.
The Viking press, Trey Mitchell can beat him, but I think he picks up good points.
Yeah.
The deadlift, it's not the worst group of deadlifters for Luke to be up against. He went slow on the deadlift at Europe's Strongest Man. He's going to have to change that and think, right, tactics need to be a fast 4, and if I have anything left for the 5th bar, I go for it. But let's look at the athletes he's up against. Kevin, probably not going to do 5. Tristan, I haven't seen too much of his deadlifts, but I'd be surprised if he got 5. Trey Mitchell, yes, that is someone that can get all 5. Eddie Williams, not the best deadlifter in the world. Oskar, not the best deadlifter in the world. So he can pick up points with a fast 4. That would be my tactics for someone like Luke. But yeah, I think this could be a very exciting group. Very hard to see who will be in that top 3 into a stone-off.
I think, I'm just throwing it out there, I think Luke Stoltman wins that group, Tristan Hoyth and Trey Mitchell in the stones. Trey Mitchell wins the stones.
Interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing Tristan. It's just we don't have that experience in there. I think Luke wins the group, and I think Trey will do enough to squeeze into the final on the stone-off.
Who's he in a stone-off with?
Honestly, any one of those other 4. I really think it could be a battle. I think all of them could be close for many reasons. I don't think anyone's like... There's no one in that group that I think, they're definitely last.
No.
Because they've all got events they can pick up points. There's a lot of events I think that could be really close. I'll go out and say Luke wins the group, and Trey, whether he's 2nd or 3rd, gets through on the stone-off.
So group number 2 then, we are starting off with Austin Andrade, who is representing Mexico. We have Gavin Bilton coming back to Worlds from the UK. Nicholas Camby representing Italy at his first World's Strongest Man. Andre Foitu, also a first-timer, representing the Czech Republic. Mitchell Hooper, current champion and clearly number 1 seed as well, representing Canada. And then finally Spencer Remick from the USA coming back for his second World's Strongest Man.
So straight away for me, this is another exciting group.
Yeah, this is, yeah.
You know, yes, I believe Mitch Hooper is going to win the group.
Yeah.
I think most people would probably agree with that. Solid events for Mitch, and he's looking in great form. However, after that, this is exciting. Austin Andrade has been super impressive to me over this last year.
Yeah.
I think he's got some very solid events. Andre Foitu proved with these type of events he was very good at Europe's Strongest Man, as did Nicholas Camby. You know, Nicholas Camby did much, much better than I expected at Europe's.
Yeah. Andre beat Nicholas, we should point out.
Yes,
and he won the Viking Press and he won the Stonewalk as well.
He's got some very, very good events and events that he could probably win in this group as well.
Yeah.
Even with Mitch Hooper in there, I think Andre could take points off the champion. Gav Bilton did not do well at Europe's Strongest Man.
No.
He needs to raise that level. What he needs to do is get himself into a stone-off. If he gets himself into a stone-off, he has a chance. He's got experience being in a stone-off before. That's important. You've got to kind of build that belief. And from talking to him earlier this year, you know, he kind of got to the stone-off, but almost like that was enough last time. Now he's got to believe he can beat everyone. And looking at the group, there's no standout stone lifters. There's good stone lifters, but there's no one you wouldn't think, if I've got the advantage, that I can't beat. For all of them, you know, Austin is a decent stone lifter. He's had some, you know, he's won the stones twice in competition that he's done. Didn't do great at the World Open. However, he was probably exhausted at that point.
Gashed,
you know, very, very fast-paced Giants Live, first time he's ever done it. Andre Foitu's stones have not been amazing.
No, and it's a shame because also we should talk about the car walk. Spencer Remick is great at car walk. Mitch Hooper is obviously, you know, probably a standout winner. He's never lost a yokel car walk in competition. He's
never actually done a car walk.
No, he did in the 2022 World Heats,
yes,
and he won it in his group, Nick Camby is good at car walk too. He came second at Europe's.
He did, however, I will say the times at Europe weren't fast.
It was, the winning time was 16 seconds, which is like 5 seconds slower than the guys were doing.
There's a lot of athletes at work. I mean, Spencer Remick can do pretty well.
He's done 11 seconds on a setup like this.
So, you know, I'd expect Mitch to be the number one at that event. I think Spencer would come in second, actually. Be interesting to see where the others come. It's notoriously not a great event for Gav.
No, he's had mixed results.
Austin, I think, could be good at it. He's got the kind of big, thick frame to kind of cope with the balance. He's pretty quick, and he's improving all the time. So, you know, this is Viking Press we've got in this group. Nick Camby's very good. Andre Foitu is very good. Austin Andrade is a solid Viking presser.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be one of those groups that comes down to a real battle, and I think this is going to be a theme of every group this year.
I think this could be a heartbreak group, to be honest. I think Mitch Hooper wins. I think definitely Andre gets into a stone-off. Who he's up against is a hardcore. My gut is telling me Austin or Nick Camby.
Really?
Yeah. And then I think, and I hope I'm wrong, I think Andre loses out on the stones.
Which one?
Andre Foitu.
Sorry.
Yeah, not Austin Andrade.
I think Mitch Hooper wins this group. I think Austin Andrade takes it on the stone-off. That's my prediction. I think you could be right that Andre Foitu actually finishes the group in second.
I wouldn't be surprised.
But I think he might lose out on a stone-off.
Yeah.
We will see. It's going to be a battle. I mean, you know, I wouldn't be surprised to see Gav Bilton, Spencer, Nicholas. There's no athlete I look at this and think, you know, they're coming bottom.
Yeah.
They can all pick up points. Depends on what kind of shape people turn up in, how they perform on the day. But I will stick with you. I'm going to say Mitch Hooper wins this group. Austin Andrade makes the final. So we move on to group number 3, and this is another interesting group, starting off with Adam Bishop from Great Britain, Thomas Evans from the USA, Rob Kearney from the USA, Paro Dwyer representing Ireland, Matthew Ragg from New Zealand, and Ivers Schmaukstelis from Latvia. Another competitive group, Auntie Liz.
Yeah, this is a great group. Oh man, I mean, Matt Ragg, we don't have that much data on Matt Ragg, but I don't think I'd be alone in just assuming he might win this group.
I think a lot of people are talking about Matt coming into this year's Worlds as a dark horse. You know, he's quietly confident. I don't believe there's any weak events for him in the heats.
No, but also, I also would not be surprised if Ivor Schmutzlis won this group. He was 100th of a second away from winning Europe's Strongest Man with pretty similar events. The same events.
I think we could have another battle. And yeah, I kind of feel that this group doesn't have I feel bad saying this because I really think Matt Ragg is a big favourite for Worlds this year.
But we still don't have that much information about Matt.
Sure.
That's where you're coming from, isn't it?
Yeah, and also, like, you know, deadlift ladders are not the same as a deadlift for reps.
No.
Ivers is not the biggest deadlifter in the world, but he's got experience on these events. He knows how to pick up points. Adam Bishop is unbelievable at deadlift ladders. Any kind of deadlift, to be honest.
Rob Kearney has great events in the heats as well with the car walk,
Rob,
biking.
I think, wins the car walk in this heat.
Yeah.
Thomas Evans, we've seen how consistent he is at competing against some of the best in the world and steadily improving all the time.
Adam Bishop, deadlift ladder, likely to win.
I just said that.
Oh, sorry. My mind is going 1,000 miles a minute.
So, again, there's no sort of guarantee. I can see athletes picking up points, see athletes losing points. And again, it comes down to who's in shape. We've seen some amazing training videos from lots of athletes. That doesn't always equate to big performances when it comes to competition. I'm going to, go for a prediction. I'm going to say Matt Ragg wins the group.
Okay.
And Ivers makes it into the final on a stone off.
Yeah, I think unless, interestingly, Matt Ragg and Ivers were in the stone off together last year. Matt went in on the stones. Ivers unfortunately got hurt. I think if Ivers was in a stone off against any of those other guys, Ivers probably wins the stone off.
I believe so.
Yeah. Okay, on to group number 4 then. And first off, we have Marcus Crowder representing the USA. We have Kane Francis from the UK, Rauno Heinle from Estonia, Pavlo Kordiaka from Ukraine, Evans Nana from Ghana, and Evan Singleton from the USA. This group is my heartbreak group. How do you feel about this?
We've both got athletes in this one.
We do, yeah.
You've got Rauno and I've got Evans Nana, who has been very impressive in his training and has some good events in the heats. However, we will put the logical head on, and I cannot see anyone other than Evan Singleton winning this group, as long as Evan doesn't beat himself.
I was going to say, the only person who can beat Evan in this group is Evan.
Yes, yeah. Evan has great events. Evan is a fantastic strongman. As long as he is mentally tough, doesn't do anything stupid, he wins this group at 80% effort. He is that good.
Kane Francis has some good events. He's a fast, dynamic athlete. Like you've said in our Meet the Athletes video, he's very gutsy. He'll give
athlete,
everything.
Tries his hardest all the time. Pavlo Kordiaka, unbelievable athlete. We saw at Europe's, these events are not the best for him.
Well, Pavlo won his group last year on a totally different set of events. Pavlo and Rauno were tied for points at Europe's Strongest Man on these events.
This is something that, again, you hear me rattle on. Events are so important when it comes to strongman. And we were really singing Pavlo's praises about the events in last year's World's Strongest Man. Unfortunately, these are different events.
Yeah.
And we saw at Europe's, they're not the best events for Pavlo.
I should point out, Rauno is in better shape now than he was at Europe's because he's had his knees sorted. He's had his pain medication for his knees. He is feeling sprightly.
As you just mentioned, Rauno and Pavlo were tied at Europe's.
Yeah.
Marcus Crowder has good events.
Yeah, he does.
It would not surprise me to see him get into a stone off in this group. Evans Nana, unbelievable when it comes to like the speed events. His yoke is unbelievable. His loading is really, really good. I can see him getting into a stone off. I can see Rauno getting into a stone off. I can see Pavlo getting into a stone off. I can see Marcus getting into a stone off.
All right.
One thing I think is that Evan Singleton wins this group.
I think Evan wins the group. I think if Rauno gets into a stone off, Rauno gets into the final.
Do you know what? I wouldn't be surprised to see Rauno win a stone off. You saw how good he was at a stone off last year. If he's in a stone off, anyone that's up against him has two major issues. One, if you want to beat him, you are going to have to go to hell.
Yeah.
Which messes up your final.
Yeah,
Rauno will keep going.
Yeah, he won't stop.
Really will. We've seen what it takes, even for the likes of Brian Shaw, to beat him on a stone off.
Him and Brian hold the record for the most amount of stones lifted in a stone off, and we've seen people like Maxime Boudreau and Trey Mitchell do it before and not have to go that far.
Yeah, it's going to come down to the events before that.
Yes.
Now, where does Rauno pick up points? Rauno picks up points on the deadlift.
Yes.
He could win the deadlift. I think Evan can beat Rauno on this deadlift. If it was deadlift for reps, no one beats Rauno. If it was deadlift for max, no one in this group beats
Evan
Rauno.
has better grip.
Evan has a better grip, and he's a faster athlete. So Evan could beat Rauno on that. Rauno's best option would be for Evan to come second on the deadlift if Rauno can take the win. And Rauno did win the deadlift ladder at Europe's. We'll point that out. So it's not unfeasible that he wins the deadlift.
This is a really fast loading group as well on the sandbag steeplechase.
Very fast loading group.
Rauno was second in a fast group last year. He was actually, I think, 5th fastest out of all 30 athletes.
Yeah, literally, you look at this group of loaders.
It's really fast.
Marcus is fast. Kane is fast. Rauno is fast. Pavlo is rapid.
Yeah. Evans Nana's
rapid.
And
Evan Singleton is rapid. So it's going to come down to conditioning. I do feel the extra bag might hinder Rauno.
Yes.
I think he would be better off with 2 bags, and it was just about speed rather than endurance. Let's think of what other events are in there. We've got the Viking press. For me, Evan Singleton is very, very good at Viking press.
He's, on paper, results-wise, he's the best.
The rest of them could be quite close.
Yeah,
like Pavlo is solid, but I think Pavlo is better on a log or an axle than a Viking press. Rauno's lockout can be a little dodgy on this. He struggles with that mobility. Kane is solid. Marcus is solid. Evans is solid. So no standouts there. They're sort of, for me, Evan Singleton is the standout, and then we could see some close results. The car walk, I think Evan Singleton again is the standout for me. Evans Nana is the second best when it comes to that, but Marcus Crowder is very, very good at yokes as well.
Kane Francis is
very good at yoke also.
He's done car walk once before, and he came 7th at Britain's Strongest Man, but it was his first time doing it.
Yeah, and normally on a yoke he's been pretty rapid.
Yeah, he is good, yeah.
Very tough group to pick. I'm going to go with Evan Singleton taking the win in this group.
Yeah.
I think you and me may disagree on the next.
I'm not losing faith. Rauno gets in on the stone off. You're welcome to disagree with me.
I would be so happy to see that. I feel if Rauno's in the stone off, Rauno gets through.
But you think he's going to struggle
I
to get to the
don't think
stone off?
Rauno gets to the stone off.
I didn't think that last year.
And like I said, I'll be happy to be proved wrong. Yeah. I think Marcus, Pavlo and Evans Nana will have a battle to get into that stone off. And do you know what? As crazy as it might sound, I'm going to say Evans gets into that stone off and makes the final.
There seems to be some bias in this group. I think we should move on from both of us.
No bias at all. Finally, group number 5. And once again, we have an exciting group. Wesley Dowinski from Canada, Nathan Goltree from the USA, Adam Rosowski from Poland, Jaco Schoenwinkel from South Africa, Tom Stoltman, one of the absolute favourites for the competition from the UK, and Bobby Thompson from the USA.
Bobby, he's always
Do you know what, though?
Tom, isn't he?
When I saw this group, I instantly thought Bobby has a chance.
I think this is a much better group for Bobby this year than it was last year.
I 100% agree. Now, obviously, you look at Tom Stoltman, Jaco Schoenwinkel, and I'd say Bobby Thompson as the favourites in this group. Jaco is the unknown. Yes, he was amazing in his heats last year, but since then we've seen nothing from him. So he could be amazing again and win the group, and if that's the case, it's bad news for Bobby Thompson, because if you're going against Tom Stoltman in a stone-off, you're going home.
Yeah.
However, Bobby Thompson against any of the others on a stone-off is a more realistic chance for him to get through, particularly if all he has to do is match the other person.
I mean, we have seen great things from Bobby as well. Like in the 2021 World's Strongest Man, he knocked Alexis. He won that group against the current World's Strongest Man.
People forget how good Bobby is. When we did the comparison last year through all the events, he was 5th.
Yeah, he was.
He just got knocked out in a stone-off.
Yeah.
He's an amazing strongman, and even as his coach, I've said many times he's got to avoid someone good in a stone-off. I believe he can get through this. I do.
Well, Tom Stockman, because you were quite surprised that Tom's been in 4 stone-offs, weren't you?
I was.
Yeah, so like Tom is not Tom's going to win the group, no matter what, no matter who. Like, he doesn't.
The worst thing for Bobby would be for Jacko to win the group.
Yeah, that
would be bad news if you're up against Tom. To be honest, anyone up against Tom Stockman is bad news.
Jacko Schoonwinkel doesn't have great results on the Atlas stones either. If Tom won the group and Bobby was up against Jacko, I think that would be his best chance
I
in
agree.
the final on stones.
I agree 100% with you. Nathan Goltry is a good stone lifter.
Yeah, he is. He won the stones.
That's someone to look out for. Adam Rosowski's doing well in the Champions League, competed as recently as last weekend.
Yeah, 2 days ago.
I think stepping in this late into the competition could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. Obviously, the prep's not going to have been there.
Surely he's going to be quite tired.
Bit tired, but you might just be thinking, I'm just going to relax and have fun, so there's no pressure. Wesley Dewinski from Canada did very well at OSG.
Yeah.
The Canadians are always strong, so, you know... But yeah, as Bobby's coach, when I saw this group, I was like, honestly,
maybe
this is a nice group. Like, as nice as a group can get, a World's Strongest Man.
Yeah.
I think he has a chance. Yes, Tom Stockman is the massive heavy favourite. Jacko Schoonwinkel did exceptionally well last year. But Bobby has a chance, and I'm going to get behind my man. I'm going to say Tom Stockman wins the group. Bobby Thompson gets through on the stone off. Or Bobby Thompson wins the group, and Tom Stockman gets through on the stone off. Tom's big advantage at Worlds, he can come third in a group and still coast to the final.
Yeah.
So he may decide to save energy, because I'm pretty sure he will look at that and think, there's no one there that beats me on a stone off. And sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes as an athlete, you see Tom Stockman on the other side of a stone off and you just think, what's the point?
Well,
you know, it happens. You might get someone like Rauno that's just stubborn and thinks, well, I'm going to make you bloody work.
Yeah, but it can really get in your head, can't it?
You know, it's a mental thing sometimes. So we will see. However, I got to say, I think these are going to be some exciting groups.
Do you know what? Last year when the groups came out, I was horrified. I thought group 1 and 3 were ridiculous. We did not know that Mateusz wasn't in Mateusz shape.
Yeah.
But I thought 1 and 3 were absolutely stupid and I was quite vocal about it. So I want to counter that by saying, I don't think this is a bad job at all. I think this is pretty balanced and good job.
I think genuinely we could have some exciting finishes.
Yeah.
For me, lots of athletes could make a stone off.
Yeah.
So, it's going to be battling all the way to the end. Yes, we've got some favourites in each group, but I think we will see some good battles. And as I said, there's no one I look at and think, oh, they're definitely coming last in a group.
No.
Which has happened in the past. There's been athletes put in a group and you're like, well, that guy's going to come last.
Yeah.
We're not at that stage anymore. World's Strongest Man is a lot more competitive.
Depth.
We've got too much talent in depth. They are 30 fantastic athletes. I need to point that out. I'm here kind of criticising, saying where people are strong.
Do badly here.
Let's get this right. These are 30 incredible athletes. Good luck to every single one of them. I wish them all the best. Have a safe and healthy competition, and the best man will win. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. As always, comment below. Let us know who you think will make the final out of each of these groups. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel.